Hi everyone, welcome to another Smartpreneur Live with me, Tallulah. Today we're going to be talking about building strong networking skills as an SME, small business enterprise, small business owner. Networking is so important. It's one of those skills that is highly, I think, underrated, but it's very, very key. And my guest is Ubi Franklin. He's going to be talking to us. We all know Ubi. We all know he's a great, hi, Mo Empire. We all know he's, a great entrepreneur. And we all know that he's very good at networking. So he's the perfect person to talk to us about, building strong networking skills as an SME, as an entrepreneur. Thank you. Oh, you guys are already joining. Fantastic. I love the fact that as soon as we come online, I see a lot of familiar faces. Hi, Frank. Hi. How are you? Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. So we're just going to wait on Ubi. I think he should be with us very, very shortly. I'm going to pin today's topic, and then, Ubi should be with us in a moment. If you have any preliminary questions you want me to put to Ubi Franklin, do either put them in the comments or put them in the question box, and I will definitely put them to him. Fantastic. So let's start. Oh, Ubi's with us already. Okay, fantastic. So let's get straight into it. Okay, I've sent Ubi with us very, very shortly. Fantastic. So he's just about to connect. Hi.
Oh. Hi.
Hi, Ubi. How are you?
How are you doing? Hi.
I'm doing great. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Good. I'm really excited about our conversation today, which is all about building strong networking skills as an SME, because I think networking is an area that a lot of people are sort of afraid of. And even if they're not afraid, they don't really know how to go about it. So I know that you're going to give us a lot of great tips and insights into improving our networking as entrepreneurs.
Sure.
Awesome.
So hi, everyone. My name is Ubi Franklin. It's great to be here. One thing I like to do is I like to talk about things that are really brilliant, like the topic of today. For me, I've lived my life, right, by contacts, by people, the things that have built me to become where I am today. So managing relationships is also very, very important for me, especially for businesses, right? We can fail at others, but when it comes to managing those relationships that put the checks in place, that passes the checks around the tables, is very important. Your boss is someone that I knew through that, and I've managed that relationship for years, right? So that's to show you that all we do is manage relationships as much as possible. Thank you.
Fantastic. That's very exciting. So I want to go through your bio here on Smartpreneur. We always go through our guest bios before we dive into our conversation. So I'm just going to do that.
Sure.
I'm sure everyone knows who you are, but still, let's just do a very quick rundown. So you're Ubi Franklin, you're a music artist, manager, politician, and entrepreneur. You're the founder of the record label Made Men Music Group, Triple MG. In 2017, you launched the Ubi Franklin Startup Fund, which is a platform to fund existing business ideas and plans. And through the fund, you've supported several businesses in Nigeria with startup capital and with funds, which is amazing, because that's an area a lot of people actually struggle with, getting funds to start their businesses. In 2016, you were named City People Music Awards Music Manager of the Year. And in 2017, you launched Instant Pickup, which is an online service that offers instant home pickup and delivery of laundry, which I'm sure came in handy during the pandemic for a lot of people. And you also launched Instant Apartment, which is an online platform that offers luxury apartments for rent. And in 2018, you launched Instant Ride, which is an online taxi service in your hometown of Calabar, Cross River State, and Uyo Akwa Ibom State as well. And more recently, in 2020, you were appointed as Special Advisor on Tourism by the Cross River State Governor, Benedict Ayade.
Correct.
Wow, what a journey. You've done a lot of things. You started.
So I feel like having those tears down, because it's actually exciting to see, to hear someone read out your profile and the things that you've been able to achieve. For some of us, we've achieved those things from failure, right? So we try and it fails, we start again from experience. You understand? From experience. So the most important thing is, speaking about journey is very important to me than just, just blabbing about different things, right? So the most important thing is, if reading the profile, you find out that everything you say in my head is, yo, I went through this to make sure I could achieve this. I went through this to make sure I could achieve this. But in that journey, I tried to make sure one thing was very important: keep my relationship, my contacts, people around me, keep them properly in areas where it's very important to know that in 2-3 years' time, you can put up a call across to them. If I offend somebody, especially business contacts, I make that call. Sometimes, hey, what's going on? Can we talk about this? Or how guys apologize. How guys apologize is to throw a deal in. Hey, bro, what's good? What's happening, man? I know you are into oil and gas. There's this oil and gas thing. Let's leave this, that. That's how guys apologize. Right?
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that.
So you get the drift now. That's how guys apologize. So for me, it's very important to keep the blessing, to keep the relationships. But you see, there are still people that you cannot keep those relationships with. So over to you. I'm open to as many questions as you want to ask.
Okay, fantastic. I'm really excited. A lot of your fans are in the comment section, dropping hearts, dropping comments, saying that you inspire them. So I'm glad that a lot of people are here ready to learn from you. So I love the way you talk about networking, but you seem like a natural networker. You seem like someone who's naturally outgoing, naturally friendly. And I just want to know, if there's people who, because I talk to a lot of people who say, oh, I find it very hard to network. I go to networking events. I don't even know how to approach people. I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. So for someone who is not sort of naturally a networker, how can that sort of person go about, like you said, keeping contacts, forming relationships, and just also forming, forming bonds?
All right. So this is how I've been able to, so whatever I'm going to say here is personal experiences. So you understand, it's different things for different people. So when I go out to the club, for example, right? I'm not a drinker. I'm not a smoker. By the way, I'm not against those that do. When I go out to the club, I look at people. First, you know that before you start talking to somebody, there are things that you see. Their wristwatch, their designers, maybe the car they're driving, the kind of ring they're wearing. You know that you just look at how they are dressed. Are they sagging? So it kind of forms the conversation you can have with this person. So when I go out, this is how I network. When I go out, I just look at you. I look at you. So the good thing for me is I'm a celebrity in court. So what I do is I just walk up to you. If you already said, hi, are you Ubi Franklin? That means you have finished it yourself already. So what I do is, hey, what's up, bro? What do you do? How you doing? I start the conversation. And then you hear something like, oh, we thought you were very, very proud. But guess what? That's a misconception of people. But if there is something in the box and you see the box, you see the content of the box from outside, it's easier to see a content inside a box, but it might not be clear. So all you need to do is knock, open the box, you get what you want. So the most important, this is what I do. I walk up to the place, hey, how are you doing? My name is Ubi Franklin. He said, oh, we already know you. Now, that you already know you kind of opens the door for me. So the next thing I do is, what do you do, bro? Oh, you can imagine if you say something that is close to what I am interested in, you are done. So I'll start talking to you. We're having that conversation. You say, oh, listen, how can we do this? How can we do this? Are you okay to do this, to do this? And see, let me tell you something. There is no harm in reading as much as possible. There's no harm in you knowing about public, current affairs, finance, everything. So I'm more in the legal background, right?
Okay.
But I've pushed my hands in tech, hospitality, everywhere, music, because all I'm doing is trying to build myself to become something, so that when you're seated in a place, you have something to say.
Yeah.
My governor of my state, right, Sir Professor Benedict Ayade, is one of the most smartest guys you can ever sit with. Forget politics. He's a very brilliant person. He's somebody that you can be presenting something to him, and he will tell you everything that is in your presentation. So when you work with this kind of person, I worked with him for a year and a half. When you're working with this kind of person, you need to make sure that if you are going for presentation, you put your things in place. So networking with people is simple. Know your onions. Have something to offer. I'd rather bring a business deal on the table. I'd rather bring a business deal on the table than beg you for money. This is me. Ask anybody that knows me. I'd rather bring a business deal on the table than beg you for money. Why should I beg you for money when there's something here? Hey, bro, my name is Ubi. This is what we can do. You look at it. Sometimes some people say, oh, I've been thinking about this thing. Do you think it's possible? I said, okay, you know what? I can do it. But I have the paperwork, the business plan for it. I can sell it to you. So now, all I need to do is do the entire business setup for that person and give it. So now, let me tell you something. Unfortunately, as people, it's impossible to always have pass mark at a lot of things. I've failed at a lot. I've failed at some relationships that I've tried to build, maybe from bad business deals. But guess what I've done? Whenever it's possible, I try to patronize those people to make sure as much as possible, these people are still my guys. You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
And see, one thing every young man should appreciate and check in their lives as much as possible. Let me use this. Excuse my French. Clean up the bullshit in your life. And know when to apologize as a man.
Right.
Especially when it comes to business. Ask yourself a question. Oh, this guy, he gave me business. I met him. He trusted me with this. Some people go at the end of the day from helping people to create businesses, people supporting your business to grow, to fighting them. So now, guess what? Once you are fighting people who have helped you before, rather than put create an environment where it's easier for you to, to thrive. This person, if you fail with this person, he will tell the other person. He will tell the other person. But if you manage that failure, it will open more doors for you.
Right.
So that's how I've been able to network. Let me even give you this. People have a perception of me, good and bad. I don't care. But let me have you on a one-on-one. Let me see that you have something I need. That perception will switch.
Interesting.
Because
So,
I don't sit down with people to just blab. I sit down with people for how we can connect. Yeah? I sit down with people for how we can connect the good and the bad and make it better.
Okay, so what I hear you saying, Ubi, what I'm getting from everything you're saying is that you're someone who always tries to offer value. You want to offer value to people. And so
value,
you don't...
Very important.
Yeah, so you don't just come to the table just with nothing. You know that, every time you're interacting, there's something, that you can offer the other person that they want that can help them as well. And maybe, mutually beneficial. So what I want to touch on a little bit is how you've been able to enter so many different areas, from the music, where you first started, to the politics, to the online business, the laundry business, to the apartment. These are very different businesses. And I think I think a lot of people tend to get pigeonholed. If they are known for music, they feel they must always stay in music. But you've been able to break out of that, even to the point of, being in politics. So how have you been able to enter different areas and also maybe overcome that perception, like you're saying? Maybe people had a view as like, oh, he's a music guy. That's what he can do. He's not for all these other areas, but you've been able to do that. So, yeah.
So, let me give you a short story.
Okay.
I went to the embassy for a visa, and they asked me, how come you are coming from music to politics? That's because I need a lot of people to unlearn something today. Listen to me carefully if you're watching this. There are a lot of smart musicians. They went to school. There are a lot of smart people in the Nigerian entertainment industry. I wonder what would have become of me if I didn't use the environment that I found myself to get as many contacts as possible. I've sat in rooms with presidents. I've sat in a room with a former American president, Barack Hussein Obama. I've sat in a room with Nigerian presidents. I've sat in rooms with different. I've traveled the world. And you know one thing? In our entertainment industry, there's a reason why a lot of people feel if you're in the music industry or the entertainment industry, all you know how to do is just use your talent to act. Use your talent to sing. You know why? It's because we are very shy to speak up. We are not outspoken. Let me tell you something. Wait until you meet Corridor Bello. Wait until you meet Mr. Easy. Wait until you meet Don Jazzy. Wait until you meet Inyanya, Techno. These guys have something here, but they are just scared sometimes to implement it. Because they don't want their careers to either suffer by carrying up another load.
Okay.
So for me, as a person, I told myself, okay, I travel around the world. How did I start the taxi? I traveled around the world and I found about, I'm like, oh, ride sharing. I tried it. It failed. But you see what? It failed because I've tried. And
right.
So I've satisfied my curiosity. Right. So I can use that to make money by advising people where I failed on how to make it.
I love that. I love what you're saying. You know why I love what you're saying, Ubi?
Yeah.
Because we're both in the entertainment industry, and I see that a lot of people like you're saying, they're afraid for the public's perception of them to be something else. And I think they're also afraid of failure. Like you said, they think, okay, I'm successful in this area. If I go to this area and I try and I fail, then that failure is going to follow me, right? So that's the mindset, which I think limits a lot.
I know that in our industry, in the creative industry, one thing they hate so much is failure.
Right.
When an artist drops a song, the song doesn't become #1. He starts getting depressed because he believes that everything he does should become #1. That feeling is valid. But guess what? Check in America, the American entertainment industry. Some of the richest guys in America they didn't make their money just from music. They moved into, look at Kanye West, look at Jay-Z, look at 50 Cent, P. Diddy, and the likes. They diverted their portfolios into their investment into different portfolios, real estate, liquor, water, energy drinks.
Right.
That is what I would love to see in our entertainment industry, because these guys are scared. Look at Mr. Easy. Look at what he runs right now. Something exceptional.
Right.
So with that, the same thing, that's how I went into hospitality, because every time I travel, I hate being in a hotel room, because I like to walk from my room to the living room, sit down, just leave the bed. I don't want to see the bed and I like to work. So every time we travel, if we're given a rider, I always tell the people that are booking us for the shows, the promoters, please get us an apartment. We don't want a hotel. If you're getting me a hotel, please get me a suite. Because if you get me a suite, it is important that suite I'll be able to walk in this living room, right? And then go back to the room. You understand? So it gives you that kind of, so in our entertainment industry, something is very, very important. We need to unlearn the fact that we cannot use see, let me tell you something. If only a lot of entertainers understand the power they have with the social media numbers they have, it's very key. So when I traveled this way, and I was in love with apartments. So when I came back, I was like, you know what? I need to launch something. Instant apartment. And that's how I launched it. I launched Instant Pickup because every time I traveled, right? So let me tell you how I launched Instant Pickup. I traveled to America to have my son, Jaden. While I was there, in Nigeria, it's easy to just carry your clothes, give to your boy. They take it to the laundry and they bring it back.
Yeah.
Now, while I was there, a month and thereabout, I'll be washing my clothes. My ex-wife there, my wife at the time, wash her clothes. Do you understand? I'll do all of those things. And it was becoming stressful. Then I'll come and iron them and all of that. I was like, hold on. There should be a service where someone like me that has traveled out of town can order a service that they come and pick up my clothes and go and wash it, because I don't want to. So I said, you know what, instant pickup. And that was it. So I now launched Instant Apartment. But guess what? In all of these startups that I've tried to push out, in all of these businesses that I've tried to push out, I've owned a restaurant, a couple. Now, what I've done in those restaurants is, hey, I understand this is a tough management. For me, right now, I'm very busy. I'll source. You can take it, pay me X amount of money, and I'm gone. So rather than shutting down the entire business, right? Create an opportunity for somebody else to come in. See, the worst thing that happens to a lot of people today is feeling like if they leave, they have failed. No, you have not failed. The most important thing is to look at something and see somebody else doing it. Look at, for example, I own a restaurant called Till Terrace. And the stress was too much and my portfolio was becoming bigger. I needed to handle other things. So I called the lady. I'm so happy that it's 3 years now. She's doing exceptionally well. That is the beauty. Guess what? Every time I go there, my chest is really high that I took that business decision.
So wait, Ubi, I don't want to miss this lesson because I know a lot of people are going to like benefit from this. So basically what you're saying is with the restaurant, you were able to get somebody who can run it day to day and do all the management
I was
stuff.
able to get a different brand.
A different brand. Okay.
The Shack Express. She was already doing exceptionally well in Abuja.
Okay.
So when somebody introduced me to her, I looked at what she was doing in Abuja already, and I felt like where the location, where this restaurant was, it needs a tailored menu.
Right.
So it's in Lekki Phase 1. If you sell tailored products in Lekki Phase 1, you win. So what I did was, when she came, it didn't take us more than 24 hours to seal the deal because I knew exactly what I was looking for. But guess what? Every day, if I walk in there, you see my chest really high because I took that business decision not to act like a failure, but to know that another person can come and take over the organization, rebrand it, change the name and everything, and run her business. Today, Shack Express is in that place. And guess what? Do you know the most beautiful thing ever? Is every time I walk there, I walk into that place and she's there. She calls everybody, come and see my boss. I am not her boss. She owns the place right now. But for the fact that I believed in her, I made sure that her dream came true by setting up that structure for her to take on. Guess what? Today, right? She's happy. She's doing business there. That is what is most important for me. But guess what? Made Men Music was started a long time ago. I was really young then. But it became one of the most successful record labels in Nigeria. Nyanya, Techno, Celebobo, DJ, what's it called? G-Tunes, DJ Kublon, Emanara, Bashi. These were people that came on. So when I look at people who say, what has this guy done before? Go and look at my profile. You understand? I did this thing with no investment. But what I understood is you can recycle what you are using, what you are making to make sure your business can grow. It's not about eating. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
I understand what you're saying. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No. What I love about what you're saying, and what I think a lot of people can take away, what I'm taking away actually, is that it's really a mindset thing. Like, you don't have to, just because you start a business, you don't have to hold on to it forever. You can free yourself up to explore other parts of your personality, of your ambition. You know, you can do a lot more than maybe what you're currently doing. And networking is a key part of that. Because as you said, it was somebody who introduced you to this woman who ended up, taking over the Tilt Terrace. And I'm sure, she said you have a good relationship with her. When she sees you, she's so happy. So that is also networking. Networking is not just going to an event and saying, here's my business card,
Guess what? Sorry to cut you. Guess what?
Go ahead.
For every time that lady meets anybody, you can never say anything wrong about Ubi around that lady, because my experience with her is the most beautiful experience. That is how people. So you see, if you are worried about what people say about you, right? You are just worried because you have not built structures that will fight for you when you are not there.
Right.
Listen, what I have built for myself, if people can tell themselves the truth, anybody that leaves my office or leave my company and go somewhere else, they always, whenever they see me, they always call me. After a while, maybe 6-7 months, you see, they'll call me, man, working with you was the best experience ever. But when they were with me, they thought that it was too much for them to handle.
Right.
But you see, that is what I love. I love you to go and experience people from different ends and see that all I was doing was help you grow. Growth can be very, very disruptive. Now, people say, oh, he has failed with Made Men Music. Made Men Music was, at the point, the most successful record label in the country. Tell me how many record labels have had 2 A-list artists at a highest level. How many? Tell me how many record labels have producers today that are the biggest producers in the country. Celebobo, the biggest mix and mastering engineer we have in the country, Mix Monster, Celebobo, from me. G-Tunes, the still biggest producer, one of the biggest producers in our country, from me. DJ Kublon, he produced some of the biggest songs right now that Kizz Daniel is enjoying, from me. I didn't single-handedly make these guys, but I identified them as talents that we can build structures, systems, and partnerships to make what they are today. You cannot walk into those guys and they'll tell you that they didn't have an experience with me. I'm 35 years old, but I've been around the block. I've done a lot.
Yeah.
Made Men Music Group is a company still existing. I took a break. Listen, never ever in your life ask yourself, never in your life ask yourself or tell yourself that you cannot sit down, identify the things that you can do and take a break from them. Even Jesus Christ, on the 7th day, he rested.
Amen.
Who are we?
That's true.
So right now, I've looked at the thing, I've looked at the situations, I've looked at everything. Made Men Music Group is about to hit the wave in a few weeks' time, in a few months' time, again with different talents and different stuff. Because I've sat down and I've looked at the industry and I know what I want to do. During the pandemic, I was talking about the system structures and partnership, the music business conversation. It was the most perfect thing that I did. If I've not done anything in this entire world, that one, it helped me, because a lot of people in our entertainment industry that will always throw subs, they came live on Instagram and they could bear their mind. Nobody was against them. Nobody said, oh, they are gossiping this person. And it was beautiful.
No, I love it. So, okay, so what are we going to expect? What can we expect? Do we have to wait and see, or is it something you can give us a bit of insight into at the moment?
Insight into what exactly?
You said Made Music Group is coming up with something in a couple of weeks.
Yo, so he's been there, right? The founder, you see what I tell you, succession is very important, right? You see what I told you, succession is very important. If I had somebody whom I've been able to groom properly, right now, I would have just, said, you know what, go and run it. But my comeback into it is also not being the person directly to run it, but building a structure, building people who can successfully run the company for the next 100 years. If my son grows up tomorrow and say, Daddy, I'm interested in music, I'll tell him, start your own and plug it into Made Men Music. Okay,
fantastic. So I want to touch on that a little bit, that building structures and grooming the right people, because I know with a lot of entrepreneurs that we talk to here at Smartpreneur, a big problem is they have this massive vision for their companies and they feel that nobody can truly do it as well as them. Even if they have been, grooming the person, they've been spending time with the person, they've been explaining, their core values, a part of them is afraid to sort of take their hands off because they fear for what will happen to the company. It's almost like the company is their child, and they're not able to entrust it to anybody else. So how have you been able to do that? And what advice would you give to somebody who is struggling with that aspect of it in terms of grooming and putting other people in place who can take the company to even higher heights, possibly?
I'm struggling with that as well.
Okay.
Nobody should, whatever I'm about to say are the steps I'm currently taking, the ones that are working and the ones that are not working. See, reality is when you tell yourself the truth. Reality is when you tell yourself the truth. And this is what it is. I'm not a perfect guy. I failed at many businesses. The one that I see that are succeeding, I'm guarding them with everything in my life. But guess what? I'm also understanding that if I build those businesses just around me, any day I move out of the business, it will fail.
Right.
So God blessed me 5 years ago with one woman, my lawyer, and my current accountant, who God have used, right? I'll put God here because in our country, it's difficult to find people like that. My GM, a lady, one day I'll appreciate not just her, but also her husband, because her husband, for every time she's trying to give up, her husband is telling her that, listen, this guy is going somewhere, stay there. It takes a man to always advise his wife to support another man for growth. That lady is like the backbone. That lady, and then my accountant and my lawyer and every other person in the company, because I'm talking about from leadership, right? Right now I'm in America. Those are the people that are currently at home, in the office, calling my phone every minute. Oh, all I do these days is say approve. They are taking the decisions. And sometimes I'm not okay with the decisions. But I have to make sure that I control myself not to be too bossy. Because I want them to make mistakes so that when next I'm correcting them, it will help. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes,
So,
yes.
I am, right now, as a person, all I'm doing is building an opportunity where I can create that learning environment for everyone. So if I say tomorrow, I say, you know what, Lisa, Boye, Franklin, Emilia, every other person in the company, listen, I need a break for 6 months. Guess what's going to happen? I know that there are people that will do that. And I know that if I come, I'll get proper accountability for these things. The pandemic was a big issue for a lot of us, right?
That's true.
But you see, the most important thing is when you come out of a pandemic, when you come out of something like this, you need to find a way to create an opportunity for yourself for growth. So how I've been able to do this, like you asked, is reduce a lot of authority from the top and spread responsibilities. So I'm spreading these responsibilities by, hey, Lisa, this is your job. Sometimes when they come and say, why are you calling me? This is a decision you can even make. Because I want them to make those decisions and either fail or win. So they know that, I would have done it this way. Or this is how Obi Franklin, our CEO, would have wanted it this way. So all I'm doing is this, building an opportunity where I can create that thing. I'm not there yet. Somebody saw a picture of me, a picture I posted the other day and said, he wrote to Nelumelu, I said, the money never complete. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I said the money never complete. You know why? I said the money never complete. It's because we will get there. Right now with the package, the thing they come. Do you understand? So building system structures and partnerships to help your business grow is the most important thing you can ever build for yourself as a human being, as a business owner. And guess what? Not everyone can do business. Not everyone will be a business owner. Sometimes what your job is in this world is to be the person God is going to use, the person people are going to use to build their own systems. Then you learn. When you learn, you have experience, you can start from experience. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, that is what is most important to me as a business person. I struggle. I struggle heavily.
I think it's good that you're saying that you struggle, because people will look at you and look at everything you've achieved, and your fame and your celebrity,
don't even go there.
And they wouldn't think that you do struggle.
No. I struggle. Sometimes it's so difficult as a person to be a businessman in Nigeria. So let me give you a short, this is before your next question. I built a platform, I'm done building the platform and everything. Guess what happened?
What happened?
CBN shut down BVN verification.
Yes.
So I put in millions of naira to build that platform.
Wow.
I've gone to people, spoken to them to come and be part of the platform. One is already in front of me. He's ready to make things happen. And then the next day we're about to go and sign so he can drop money to be part of the platform. Guess what? CBN shuts down BVN verification. How hurtful it is. Do you understand? So it's one thing building your business. It's another thing building. So the way things work in Nigeria is so disheartening. I'll tell you why. Because you wake up in the morning to go and sign a contract of about $200,000-$300,000, and then the person, when you get there, the person is showing you news that is going to affect the business transaction if he signs right now. That is what the country we are in. Yes,
that's very typical, and a lot of people can identify with that.
Do you know, when I was coming to America, I was so livid because that BVN verification that CBN suspended.
There was big money in it.
Policies. So yeah, whatever you do, make sure policies are very important in whatever you do. Always look out for government policies, because they say there's something in one of my uncle always say, government get power. Because they can say CBN shut down everybody springing up with different tech financial companies in Nigeria. Boom, that's it. There's nothing you can do. You have to wait till another government comes in and signs that off. So building a business, you have to look at policies of government. Look at how everything you build, look at exit strategies, exit plans to help you break out in case the government decides to be mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is very relevant. I mean, there's been a lot of new policies, like you mentioned, the BVN, the halting of the BVN verification, the cryptocurrency trade, using your bank account to buy cryptocurrency that was banned as well recently. And I think the thing with our Nigerian government is that you never know what they're going to come up with tomorrow. There's never really any warning about these policies. They just seem to one day spring up, and everybody has to deal with the fallout and with the consequences. So yeah, it's something that we definitely struggle with here in Nigeria. I think a lot of entrepreneurs have, like yourself, been affected by these policies. But I want to now look at grassroots entrepreneurs. You know, you're a veteran of the game. You dabbled, like you said yourself, in many different businesses, some successful, some not so successful, although lessons were taken from the ones that, you know, ultimately didn't turn out how you'd have wanted. But I want to talk about, for those, you know, entry-level entrepreneurs, people who are at the grassroots, they don't know anybody, they don't have anybody's phone number to call to ask anything. They're just, you know, they're hustling, they're at that ground level, and they want to come up. They have a dream, they have an idea, they have a goal. They may not have all the money in the world, but they do have some, enough to start at least. What networking and just general advice can you give people in that situation for them to grow? Because we all know that Nigeria is a very difficult environment. It can be tough for a lot of people who are just starting up, and there is this notion that you have to have a godfather, or you have to know someone in a, you know, in a big position that's going to pull you up. But if you don't know that person, what can people in that situation do?
Listen, no matter who you have in your life, it's not what they give to you. It's not what they give to you. Is what they live in you, or is what you have inside of you that will speak for you. People call me, Ubi, hey, introduce us to so person. Then I open the door. One thing I hate is to open a door and you go in there and mess up that opportunity. Because one, you are killing my own opportunities to enable other people coming. Please, on the comments, please. Put on the comments. Don't worry. Put it on. Don't worry.
Okay, some people were saying turn them off. That's why I turned them off.
No. Put on the comments. I don't care. Okay. They'll be fine.
Some people are saying
continue interacting with themselves. Don't block anybody. Just leave them. They'll be fine. So the most important thing is this. The most important thing is this. If I open the door for you and I close the door, okay, let's say you go out with your girlfriend, and then as a guy, I open the door and she gets in and I close the door. Guess what they are going to say? Guess what the lady is meant to say? Thank you. It builds appreciation for later. If I open the door for you, okay, let me. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So a lot of people have, over the years, disappointed. A lot of people have disappointed us, or have disappointed many over the years.
Yeah.
Because what we have done is, you open the door for somebody, and they go there and they mess up all your contacts. They go there, they're even chasing your own business that you have been doing with these people for years. They say people don't support people, they don't support people, they don't. It's because some people, when you support them and open the door for them, they get in there and try to break your own concrete that you have just laid for the future. Believing that if I bring in this brother is going to come in and also strengthen my own relationship to make sure that the people that are inside that room respect me more. So people go there and spoil it.
Right, that's true.
So that's why a lot of people are scared. They are saying, oh, why should I introduce somebody to somebody?
Yeah, that because it happens. I think because it happens a lot, and people don't want to mess up their own opportunities by trying to help somebody else. Yeah.
So that's why you see wealth revolves around the same people. Because I'd rather go with, if you tell me, introduce Kelvin Orifa to somebody, I don't need to tell the, when I get there, by the time I read Kelvin's profile to the person, because I know that Kelvin will not enter there and mess me up. Because let me tell you something, Kelvin put me on. He's one of the people that, 3 people that put me on in this industry. He told me there's a guy, his name is Nyanya. He's from your place. I believe that if you guys connect, you can do an exceptional job together. That's all he said. Now, guess what? Who opened that door for me? He was my older brother's friend. So guess what? The doors, so my brother, he's my brother's friend. He trusted that the way he trusted my brother, he can trust me too. So he opened the door for me. I was nobody. He doesn't know me. He knew me through proxy. That's my brother. So when he opened the door for me, I did an exceptional job. Does that make sense now? Yeah, so it does. The reason why a lot of people are, there are people with budding talents, but the reason why a lot of people are, is very difficult for them, right? To thrive is because some of us have been burnt. You bring somebody into the room, they are trying to take your own, take their own, and then shut the door to any other person, and if possible, push you out. So this is what you can do, so that you give opportunities to many other people to come in. When you are brought into a room, make sure you go for exactly what you came for. But if there's something else that is available, that you have core competence, because don't go, if I came to do, let's say I came to supply aeroplanes to Nigeria for a new airline, for example, and then I bring you in to come and bring in the engineering company that will be servicing the aeroplanes. But when you came in, you have a company, or a friend has a company that will be supplying aero gas to the fleet. Tell me. So let's together plan on how we can present that to the board.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
it makes things easier, and it makes people trust you more, and it gives you more credibility, and it makes people. So I have a chairman, right? If you tell him anything, he'll say, "Let me call Ubi." Whether I know something about it or not, he'll tell me, "Go and do a research and come back to me." Why is he doing that? It's trust.
Trust. Yeah.
And one thing I've always been praying about is, God, help me never to betray his trust, no matter what is in front of me. A few days ago, he called me. He said, "You remember something I told you a long time ago? It's 3 weeks away for it to happen." Now, this is something
Oh
he told me
wow.
over a year and a half. So he still had me in mind because he had made me that promise that this is you I'll give this to. So he kept that promise. That's because every time I got into the room, I always make sure that for every time I'm inside that room, I build friendship. I don't talk about people. I come for myself to hold my own check. And not just to hold my own check, to also be as much as possible very intentional about the things I say. Let me
That
tell you
makes
something.
sense. Sorry, go ahead.
There are people, before you ask your next question, there are people that when you enter the room with them, there's something they ask you. There's something they look out for in your character. If you will destroy other people. That's it.
Very interesting and very, very good words of wisdom and advice. And obviously, this advice is from life experience, which I always think is the best kind because
Yeah.
you've lived through it and you know it's something very personal to you. Amazing. So we're gonna have to round up in a couple of minutes because I don't want Instagram to cut us off. We're coming up to an hour. So what I'm gonna ask, my final question, not really question, it's kind of like my final thoughts are that there are people who are watching, who are going to watch the replay as well, who are like, wow, I love this. I love, you know, the way Ubi's talking. I'm getting a lot from what, you know, you're saying. How can they connect with you? I know that you've worked with some startups, and I know you used to have your own IG live sessions. I think this was during lockdown, actually. I tuned into
No, they're still on.
IG live sessions.
The IG live sessions are still on. I just took a break because I needed to see my kids, do a few things, you know, just travel around. It's still on. That's why I'm able to.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So we'll all keep our eyes glued to your page for more IG live sessions. But are you still working with startups? Are you still interested in mentoring and working with businesses? And if so, how can people get in touch with you?
Let me tell you, I unlearned something recently. When people say mentor me, the reason why a lot of people struggle with mentorship, do you know why?
No.
I can only mentor you in what I know.
Right.
So I cannot mentor you about marriages right now because I failed at one. Somebody else will.
Right.
I can mentor you about business because I've succeeded at many. And I can mentor you about failure because I've failed at many. I can always tell you what are the things that I have done that made my relationships go sour. The biggest thing you can ever do for yourself as a person, and Nigerians hate this audacity, and I'll say it. The biggest thing you can ever do for yourself is to sit back and identify your own bullshit. I'm sorry for my French. The biggest thing you can ever do for yourself is to sit back and identify your own bullshit and clean it up. So a lot of people always say, when you see, okay, for example, two business partners fall out, you know what you hear? The first one to come and talk, you say, hey, that one is a bad. No. Always understand that in every story, there are two people.
Right.
The same thing for mentorship. Mentorship is not a one-way street. Mentorship is you are learning about how my negotiation skills, how I set up my business, how I react to people, how I transact, I negotiate. You are learning a lot of things. But if as a person I don't have all of this perfectly in place, I cannot teach you all.
True.
What are you interested in? Are you interested in the glow and the cream and the glow around me, or you're interested to know the work? Some people, when you tell them, oh, come, they'll say, I want to be your PA. When they start the work, they thought that PA is just the lifestyle that they see you living. So what I'm going to say is about mentorship. I can only mentor you at the things that I know so much about. Never in your life find one mentor. Find many mentors.
Okay.
Find yourself a financial mentor, maybe a religious mentor, marriage mentor, whatever. Find yourself different people. Learn from different experiences. You'll be the smartest guy in the room. Guess what? I learned that recently.
That's an interesting take. I've not really heard it put like that, in terms of, like, go to the person who is best at that thing and have them be your mentor, and have several people. People normally focus, like you said, just on having one mentor for everything.
It's a wrong thing to have one mentor, because guess what? That guy is going to take you through a line of action that will make you fail. But it's always good to have mentors, different people that fix the 360, or that makes you as an embodiment, a person, your life. Because as a person, we have different parts, our eyes, our nose, our mouth, and they function differently, and they are for different things. If I shut my eyes, I cannot see, but I can talk. If I open my eyes and close my mouth, you will not hear anything. So there are different things and different positions to how we can create ourselves and get mentors. To get a mentor in this life, don't get a mentor, get mentors. Right? Make sure that your life is a biology. Make sure your life is a biology. Find everybody that fits the different parts of your life and fix them as mentors. The rest is history. Okay. You'll be very, very successful and do everything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing note for us to round up on. Get many mentors. Ubi, thank you so much for coming on, for being so open, and for talking about I love the fact that you talked about your failures as well as your successes, because I think people tend to shy away from their failures and focus more on their successes. But the fact that you've been able to be so successful, you're well known, you're out there. I have to say, you're a very public person.
Will they find money?
But talking to you today, I've really seen another side of you, actually. The business side, and the side that's really introspective and very, very, very thoughtful. And you're definitely someone that we can, learn from going forward. So thank you so much for coming on. We're going to be looking forward to what's going on with all your different, what do I call them, enterprises. You have a lot of them. So we'll be looking out just to see what's going on with you. We thank you. And this is going to be saved to our replay. So for everybody who wants to, get a friend to watch, a family member, or you want to watch it again later just to maybe take some notes or whatever, this will be on our IGTV. Ubi, thank you so much for making time. I know that it's very late over there in the States, so we definitely do appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I love you all. Good night.
Take care.